Hello, good morning. My name is Alfredo Angeles. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer for the Tijuana ADC, and we are here today at the Business and Coffee Capsules. And we are here today with my friend Gabriel Cabañas. Welcome, Gabriel.
Thank you.
He is the Managing Director for PRODENSA, and a company that I would like you to introduce. So please welcome.
Thank you, Freddy. Thank you for inviting us. Grupo Prodensa is a consulting firm out of Monterrey, Nuevo León. We work in 20 different cities in Mexico, and we primarily do soft landing of projects in Mexico through the shelter program and also another program that we have, which is the startup program.
Oh.
And we'll go into more detail about the different ways that you can start up in Mexico.
Great, thank you. So can you start explaining what is a shelter, what is most recognized for Prodensa and other companies?
So one way that you can operate in Mexico is under what we call the shelter program. The way that you operate is we do basically all the admin, and you concentrate on your core business, which is primarily for manufacturing, but the shelter program can be used for services also. So there's the industrial shelter program and also the services one. So that way we, in Prodensa, we basically run all the administration, all the red tape, permitting, and everything else for you, and you concentrate on your manufacturing.
What are some of the topics that a company needs to consider in terms of, let's say, soft landing in Mexico, but considering a shelter? Let's say, what are the benefits of it?
Okay, so the benefits of operating under a shelter is you don't have to worry about all the different administrative operations,
like
right?
Paperwork.
So paperwork, it's also reports, everything to be up to date on all the requirements, all the government requirements. So you can concentrate on your manufacturing, on your quality, on the cost of your product. So you can concentrate on that, your core business, and let us do all the administrative for you. Now, at Prodensa, we also have another model, which is the startup model. So if you want to own the company yourself, because under the shelter program, the shelter company owns the company, right? Legally for a period of time. That contract time varies between 3 to 4 years, more or less. And then the company can also renew the contract with us and continue in the same way. If we did our job, they'll renew and they'll continue with us. We have a lot of customers that continue with us on a longer period. Or you can graduate, as we say, and you can also keep us for some of the different areas, right? So you can also hire us for certain things that you want us to continue doing for you, and you can hire employees to do the other areas. And like I mentioned, the startup model is where we do all the paperwork and everything to get you going, and then you own the company, we incorporate the company for you, we get all the permits for you, and then we let you on your own, right? And also in the startup model, you can also keep some of the services from a menu of services that we provide. So let's say you want us to do HR, or you want us to do environmental health and safety, some of the areas, you can also hire us for those areas. After the startup process normally is around 2 years. And that's to get you going and have your own employees. We do the recruitment of the employees, the hiring of the employees, and they're under your payroll in the startup model or under our payroll in the shelter program.
Get it. A company that offers the services for shelter works a lot when a company wants to soft land easier in a foreign company. When they don't know about the political part, the let's say the documentation, the installation of new settlement of facility, that's when a shelter company enters, and it's a very beneficial, let's say, option for them. So can you tell us how many clients Prodensa covers, let's say, in all Mexico?
Yes, so right now, like I said, we operate in 20 cities. Right now we're operating 94 manufacturing plants for clients under the shelter program. This varies because like I said, some companies renew, other companies come in, right?
Yeah,
but right now
94.
we're operating 94 plants. And we also, like I said, we also do the startup model where we, get customers going and then they run on their own, and we do certain areas for them. At PRODENSA, we do consulting for companies who are already in Mexico,
Okay.
who have problems or issues in some area. We have a consulting team that works on bringing, let's say, manufacturing lines from Asia, improving quality, reducing costs. We do a lot of procurement right now because a lot of companies are looking for options.
Yeah.
So we do sourcing reports and sourcing of different components in all of Mexico. Obviously, we start where the plant is located, and then we go further into other states, trying to build on this North American content that companies are looking for to export their product under the
Explain me more about that, please.
Yes. So right now we heard a lot about the word nearshoring.
Yeah.
In Baja, as you know, and I've been doing this both on the private sector and the public sector since 2013.
Okay.
And we've done nearshoring in Baja for a lot of years. So in Baja California, it's nothing new.
Yeah.
But right now, what companies are looking for is they're looking for being closer to their client.
Yes.
In fact, their client is telling them, you have to be closer to me, right? If not, I won't buy from you, or your being a supplier is in jeopardy.
Yes.
So a lot of companies are looking into this, and they're looking to export from Mexico because of all the advantages of being close to the West Coast here in Baja, or in other states to the East Coast or central of the U.S. That depends on where your customers are, right? So your location will probably be related to the logistics of where your customers are. So we at PRODENSA, we are agnostic of where you end up. It should be where it's the right fit for your company. So we sell Baja, but it is very important for us, for the customer to be at the right city, in the right place, based on where their customers are.
And a good part, and I want to mention that the shelters help a lot because they have a lot of experience. Because you have a lot of clients in different industries, you know what's better for a new company that is coming.
Yes.
You can do this instead of this, right?
Exactly. We have business cases in different sectors. As the same as in Baja, for example, the aerospace sector is a very large sector. In fact, Baja has the most companies in the aerospace sector in Mexico. So obviously we have strategies for each industry.
Yes.
And each industry operates in a different manner and ups and downs. Right now we're seeing a very positive outlook in the aerospace industry. And when we go to the shows together, we talk to the industry members and we talk to potential customers and other companies, and we try to figure out what's coming, right?
Yeah.
What's coming for the aerospace sector. And yes, what they tell us is for North America, it's Mexico. For Europe, it's Morocco.
Yeah.
And each sector has its own way of working, right? Tendencies, what's happening, and what other companies are doing. Medical devices is another sector that's large in Baja, and that we work together to bring in more companies in the medical device sector.
We are the North America, here the America's capital of medical device
manufacturing. Medical device manufacturing. So that makes us a player, right?
Yeah.
Player in the world, competing against Costa Rica and maybe somewhere else.
Yeah.
But in Mexico, Baja is very important, both in aerospace, medical device.
Exactly.
Not to forget electronics, metal mechanics, automotive parts, which is another area where we're trying to grow, obviously with electromobility and all this different industry trends.
The big T in Monterrey.
Yeah, so the big T in Monterrey, but again, there's all of this electric vehicle manufacturing going on with different components. So I think there's a place for every state. If we do our job correctly and if we work together. So that's what we try to do.
And all the world is moving right now in terms of the supply chain relocation, the automotive sector, as you mentioned, the medical device, the aerospace, and how and why Mexico is so attractive right now.
Well, it's a combination of things of labor being more expensive in China as
It used to be.
because a lot of the manufacturing plants went to the cities in the large cities in China, and now it's more expensive than what it used to be a long time ago. So Mexico is very competitive. Mexico is competitive in labor costs and other costs. And you're also very close to your customer, right?
Yeah.
Your customer being the U.S. or Canada. The free trade agreement, ratified and now modified, including other areas that were not in the original NAFTA agreement.
Yes.
For example, e-commerce. Now there's a whole digital chapter on e-commerce and how to do fulfillment, for example, from Baja to the U.S., right? And we've seen a lot of growth in logistics companies, warehousing, and e-commerce fulfillment here in Tijuana. And that brings in a lot of square footage, rentals, leasing square footage. That brings in a lot of jobs for picking and supplying all these products, consumer products, into the U.S. So Mexico is very competitive in terms of logistics, in terms of labor, skilled labor, for example.
Yeah,
that's one big advantage that I always use as my selling point for Tijuana, right? In Tijuana, yes, labor might be slightly more expensive, but you're gonna find very skilled labor. People who have been working in different maquiladoras in different plants for a lot of years, from different parts of the world, and they gather skills.
Yeah.
These skills, a new employer can use these skills and train them in whatever industry they're in. But you're not starting from zero, right? You're not starting from scratch like you would in other states, maybe down south in Mexico.
Exactly.
For example, where the labor might be cheaper, but you have to invest more in training. So it's an offset, and like I said from the beginning, the thing that we try to do at PRODENSA is we try to look for the business case, understand the situation of our client, what they want to achieve, and then do the best for our client, right? In terms of location, in terms of supplier base, everything that they will need to be successful. But because that's how we get referred, that's how we get recommendations, and that's how we grow, if our clients are happy.
Great.
Right?
Good to know. And now that we're in that, let's say, topic of what's happening right now, tell me about a 3, 5, 10 year scope of the region of Mexico, because you also oversee manufacturing in Mexico, and how PRODENSA helps directly these companies.
Well, we at PRODENSA, it's a 35-year-old company. So PRODENSA has been doing the shelter program and foreign direct investment and helping clients arrive in Mexico in the best way possible for 35 years. We've hired at PRODENSA more than 35,000 employees. We work in 20 different cities in different states. So each state has its own advantages, let's say. And what we see right now is that, for example, for Baja California has to continue growing in the sectors that it's leading, right? Aerospace, medical devices that we mentioned. But it also has to grow and have an important presence in higher, I would say, higher value, right? Higher value jobs. Because right now in Baja California, for example, we don't have an unemployment issue. We need better jobs. Most people are working right now. So we need better jobs for those people. How do we bring better jobs to Baja? That's the government's responsibility, but it's also our responsibility to bring in as promoters of Baja, right? So we've been selling Baja as a place where you can do manufacturing, but you can also do other things.
Like
what other things? Software development. We've talked about biotechnology. So yes, we are important in medical device manufacturing, But there's another side, right? There's
Another
research and
monster,
development.
yeah.
It's a monster, right? And we have San Diego next door
Yeah.
with all the biotechnology companies
Exactly.
next door, all the medical companies next door. So we need to convince them that there's a lot of things that can be done in Baja California in terms of research, research and development, pharmaceuticals, nutritional products.
Yeah.
So we're seeing movement in that area, but we need to work also to have the right, the right training, or the universities have to have the right people in order to have these
That's
skills.
important.
Again, different skills, different skill set than just manufacturing,
Yeah.
to do all these things, and also the infrastructure. When I've talked to companies in San Diego, and this is the same for you, they're gonna ask us about infrastructure and what do we have to land these projects. So together with the government and together as a community, we need to figure out what's needed to
Yes.
bring in this new industries, right? That we're trying to attract.
It's the future of the industry.
The future in sense of better jobs, higher
Yeah.
value jobs,
Yeah.
higher paying jobs,
Yes.
right? Which is what Baja needs.
Yes.
And to move along this ladder, right? Along this manufacturing ladder where we started maybe when I was born in the 60s doing sewing,
Yeah.
and now all this sewing and garment manufacturing is not in Baja anymore, most of it. We did toys for a while. We were the largest TV manufacturers for a time.
Yeah.
Then monitors came back
Yeah.
because the technology changed. So we have, as a state and as promoters, we have to be in touch and be always ready for the next step. Right now, we're dealing with companies looking for an option to China, a China plus one strategy,
Yes.
a North American manufacturing plant. So it'll be different for each customer based on their needs. But we need to look forward to what's coming next.
Yes.
Right? Electromobility, software development, medical research and development, just to name a few.
Yeah.
But we work together, and you know this, that
Yes.
we work always to see, okay, where is there opportunity for Baja?
Yes.
We used to, I think, search for projects, and regardless of their industry, and we didn't care,
You
right?
just want all of them.
Yeah, yeah, like a shotgun approach of just come to Baja and that's fine.
Yeah.
Right now, I think we have
more
to be
selective.
more selective, and it just makes it harder because you have to do a lot of homework.
Yeah.
And before, right?
Yes, you need
before.
to study the industry.
The industry,
More
exactly.
specifically,
Exactly.
what do you want from an industry, right?
Yes.
And I like to call always Baja California that it always adapts to the market and what's happening in worldwide. So I think it is a great conversation in terms of what's happening right now and how PRODENSA under the shelter program can help. So I appreciate a lot your time and experience
Thank
to
you.
share with us. Do you want to share the website of PRODENSA?
Yes. www.prodensa, PRODENSA.com, prodensa.com. And thank you for the opportunity to introduce PRODENSA. And like I said, PRODENSA is a consulting company that specializes in helping foreign companies, be it from the North America or Asia or Europe. We have an office in the US, we have an office in Europe to support our customers. And we are going to look for the best fit for our customer and support our customer for their growth. And that's what we believe, that if we have a happy customer, they will
get back.
They will refer us, they will recommend us, and that's how we get a lot of our customers and a lot of our leads.
Great.
So thank you again, Freddie, for having us. And
It's a pleasure.
please let us know if we can help in any way. And we'll continue to work with Tijuana EDC and Data, all the shows, and to bring in more companies and better jobs to Baja.
Great. Thank you, Gabriel Cabañas.
Thank you.
Again, the Managing Director for PRODENSA. We'll leave the details and the contacts below, and appreciate your time, Gabi.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
see
you for
in the
coming.
next one.